श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरण मोहन जू की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टो विष्णुपाद रक्षित रक्षित शिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टो विष्णुपाद रक्षित रक्षित शिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टो विष्णुपाद रक्षित रक्षित शिमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्ट महाभगवत श्री गोक्षर स्वामी जी महाराज की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जाय। श्री रूपानुगौर्य गुरु वर्ग की जाय। शुभ सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ शार गोसाई प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय नंदारी श्री गौर प्रसाद वृंद की जाय। नामचय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अविश्व भ्रात गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय। श्री मुन देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जाय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्री विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय। सारार्थ-darśinī वृत्ति की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि वो। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायणेति नामिने। नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनेति नामिने। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तरभक्ताय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृदन्तस्थो ह्यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतं। नष्टप्रयेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भगवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी। तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय राधे त्वां नायमां चरणान्तिकम्। भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्षाय क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दं। भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hari Bol, everybody. Indira Mataji, Bhavatarani Mataji, Kargarajji, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Hari Bol, Madhusuran Prabhu. It's so strange. When I went to YouTube to get the link to share in our WhatsApp group, I saw Indira Mataji's message. She said Hari Bol, but it didn't appear in here. So I wonder if that happens lots of times. People send messages and I don't see it here. Oh, cool. You spoke today on Vaishnava theology and music for Junaru. That's really cool. Okay. Where did he speak on that? All right. So now we're going to start. Yesterday we completed the chapter of Shruti Stuti, the prayers of the personified Vedas. And today we're going to be reading chapter 88, Lord Shiva saved from Vrikasura. I'm not going to do a recap of yesterday's reading because it was so long, and yeah, I want to finish this chapter today, so I'm just going to start right now. Lord Shiva saved from Vrikasura. Shirajovacha Devasura Manusyeshu Ye Bhajantyashivam. Sorry, let me read. Devasura Manusyeshu Ye Bhajantya Shivam Prayaste Dhanino Bhoja Natu Lakshmya Patim Harim. King Parikshit said, "Those demigods, demons, and humans who worship Lord Shiva, a strict renunciate, usually always enjoy wealth and sense gratification, while the worshippers of the Supreme Lord Hari, the husband of the goddess of fortune, do not." Sārārtha-darśinī commentary by Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura. This chapter states that only Vishnu is worthy of worship because he is beyond the three modes of material nature. Lord Shiva, however, touches the material modes and was put into danger by his own devotee Vrika. Vishnu and his devotees are always exchanging bliss on the transcendental platform, whereas Shiva and his devotees, caught up in the modes, only experience suffering. The personified Vedas have already stated that among the primary forms of Bhagavan, among the primary forms of Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, Bhagavan and his devotee are the best. Now in a chapter and a half, it will be pointed out that amongst Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, Vishnu is the most excellent and most worthy of service. Parikshit Maharaj said, You ended the preceding chapter with the recommendation that one should always meditate on Lord Hari. Dhyayed Ajasram Harim. One should always meditate on Lord Hari, the bestower of liberation. Why then do ordinary people fear that they will lose their wealth and social status by worshipping Lord Hari, and therefore they instead worship Lord Hara, Shiva? Persons with materialistic vision perceive Shiva as inauspicious, ashivam, because he covers his body with ashes from the crematorium and wears inauspicious items like skulls. But we see that worshippers of Shiva enjoy abundant sense gratification, whereas the worshippers of Vishnu, the husband of the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi herself, they enjoy neither wealth nor sense gratification. I think this is quoted in Madhuri Kadambini. I can't remember if Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura quoted it or if my Gurudev quoted it, but yeah. Etar veditum ichama sandehotra mahanhina viruddha shilayo prabhor viruddha bhajatangati. We wish to properly understand this matter, which greatly puzzles us. Indeed, the results attained by the worshippers of these two lords of opposite characters are contrary to what one would expect. Yeah, because Shiva externally looks like the one has ashes on his body, skulls, and he looks like, completely poor, but his followers are filled, like have so much wealth. Whereas Vishnu, who is Lakshmi Devi, and he's, topmost opulence possible, and his followers are, it's like, so commentary. Vishnu and Shiva are of opposite natures in the sense that those who worship Shiva those who worship Shiva, who lives like a beggar, become rich and powerful. And those who worship Vishnu, the master of the goddess of fortune, often become reduced to abject poverty. Shri Shuka Uvacha Shiva Shakti Yuta Shashvat Trilingo Guna Samvrita Vaikarikas Tajashascha Tamashaschetyaham Tridha. Shri Shukadev said, just checking everything's running okay, looks like it. Oh, Haribol and Yadavji and Hindu Munda and Rukmini Didi and Seshwari Mataji. Sonic Theology and ISKCON. Okay, cool, Prajuna Bro. Okay, so in answer to this question, Shri Shukadev said, Lord Shiva is always united with his personal energy, the material nature. Manifesting himself in three features in response to the entreaties of nature's three modes, he thus embodies the threefold principle of material ego and goodness, passion, and ignorance. Commentary. Shiva is associated with the material energy, Shakti Yuta. He is surrounded by the modes because they pleaded with him to be accepted. Although by that covering Shiva appears to be made of the three modes, he is not forcibly bound up by these modes like the jiva. Shiva's relation with the three modes is elaborated upon in the words beginning Vaikarikas, false ego and the modes of goodness. The words ahang tridha indicate that Shiva embodies the three types of false ego and the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Tato vikara abhavan shodashamishru kanchana upadhavam vibhutinam sarvasam ashnute gatim. The 16 elements have evolved as transformations of that false ego. When a devotee of Lord Shiva worships his manifestation in any one of these elements, the devotee obtains all sorts of corresponding enjoyable opulences. Commentary. Shukadev Goswami said, there are 16 transformations of false ego. The mind, 10 senses, the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, hands, feet, voice, genitals, and anus, and 5 physical elements. That's earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So those are the 16 transformations of false ego, of ahankar. Oh, just of ahankar. Yeah, okay. Alright. People pursuing enjoyment of any of these, such as the genital, tongue, or mind, worship Shiva and obtain the essence. They obtain the essence of all types of material enjoyment. This means that because of the interdependence of these elements, by attaining one, the Shiva Bhakta obtains all varieties of sense gratification. The attainment of pleasures is in proportion to the amount of worship. Thus, since Lord Shiva embodies the modes of material nature, and since material pleasures are manifestations of these three modes, it is by worshipping Shiva that one obtains them. Therefore, what you said is not wrong. Harir hi nirguna shakshat Purusha prakrite para sa sarva drig upadrashta tam bhajan nirguno bhavet. Lord Hari, however, has no connection with the material modes. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the all-seeing eternal witness who is transcendental to material nature. One who worships him becomes similarly free from the material modes. Commentary. How is Vishnu untouched by the three modes of material nature? He is situated in his own transcendental position, beyond the material energy. Therefore, by worshipping Vishnu, who is beyond the modes, how can one get enjoyment produced by the material modes? From Vishnu comes everyone's knowledge, including that of Shiva. Even Shiva's knowledge comes from Vishnu. Thus, Lord Vishnu's worshipper gains the eye of transcendental knowledge instead of being blinded by mundane assets. The word upadrashta, witness, indicates that because Vishnu is not contaminated by the material modes, he remains aloof, merely witnessing. Therefore, by worshipping Vishnu, one also becomes nirgun, untouched by the modes. Thus, it will be stated later on, Yata shantir yato bhayam, dharma shakshat yato jnanam, vairagyam chad anvitam. From him comes peace, fearlessness, religion, knowledge, and renunciation. That's Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10:89, verses 14 to 15. Nevriteshvashvame medheshu rajayushmat pitamaha shrinvan bhagavato dharman aprichad idamachutam. Your grandfather, King Yudhishthir, after completing his Ashwamedha sacrifices, asked Lord Achyuta this very same question while hearing the Lord's explanation of religious principles. Sa aha bhagavans tasmai prita shushrusave prabhu nrinam nishreyasarthaya yovatirno yadokule. This question pleased Sri Krishna, the king's Lord and Master, who had descended into the family of Yadu for the purpose of bestowing the highest good on all men. The Lord replied as follows, as the king eagerly listened. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Yasyaham anugrinami harishye tad dhanam shanai tato dhanam tajantasya svajana dukha dukhitam. This is a very famous verse. The personality of Godhead said, this is a very famous verse. If I especially favor someone, I gradually deprive him of his wealth. Then the relatives and friends of such a poverty-stricken man abandon him. In this way, he suffers one distress after another. And Srila Prabhupada, we've all heard this, right? Like how Srila Prabhupada, he tried setting up a business, that would fail. He tried again, and then that would fail. And then his family started, turning against him and like that. And then Srila Prabhupada came across this verse. And I think then it was Srila Prabhupada's, okay, it's time for me to give up everything up and surrender myself to, Okay, commentary. A man suffers when he loses his wealth, and due to poverty, he suffers even more due to being rejected by his relatives. Devotees of the Supreme Lord experience both happiness and distress, not as the fruits of their karma, of their material work, but as incidental effects of their loving reciprocation with the Lord. As stated in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 1.2.9, Dharmasya kyapavargasya. All occupational engagements are certainly meant for the ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. This is also demonstrated in the words of Bhishmadeva, who said that devotees engage only in devotional service. Devotional scriptures such as Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu explain how a Vaishnava is relieved of all karmic reactions, including those that have not yet begun to manifest, his aprarabdha. Those that are just about to manifest, kuta, those that are barely manifesting, bij, and those that have manifested fully, prarabdha. As a lotus gradually loses its many petals, so a person who practices bhakti bhajan has all his karmic reactions destroyed. That Krishna Bhakti destroys all karmic reactions is confirmed in the Gopal Tapani Shruti, Purva 15. Bhakti Rasya Bhajanam Tad Iha Mutropadi Nairasena Mushmin Mana Kalpanam etad eva naishkarmyam. Devotional service is the process of worshipping the Supreme Lord. It consists of fixing the mind upon Him by becoming disinterested in all material designations, both in this life and the next. It results in the dissolution of all karma. The meaning of this statement is that by becoming freed from material desires, a devotee can fix his mind and senses in Krishna's service and become free from karma. This must be the meaning because of the grammatical agreement of the words bhajanam, manakalpanam, and naishkarmyam. Therefore, by doing bhajan, all karmas are destroyed, even though the devotee is still situated in the material body. This happens due to the inconceivable mercy of the Lord, who bestows the fruits of devotion. Although the happiness and distress devotees experience resembles ordinary karmic reactions, prarabdha, they are in fact given by the Lord Himself. As the Bhagavatam 10.87.40 states, Bhavad Utta Shubha Shubhayo. The mature devotee recognizes the superficially good and bad conditions he encounters. So a mature devotee recognizes the superficially good and bad conditions he encounters as signs of the direct guidance of his ever well-wishing Lord. But if the Lord is so compassionate to His devotees, why does He expose them to special suffering? This is answered by an analogy. A very affectionate father takes the responsibility of restricting his children's play and making them go to school. He knows that this is a genuine expression of his love for them, even if the children cannot appreciate it. Similarly, the Supreme Lord Vishnu is mercifully strict with all His dependents, not only with immature devotees struggling to become qualified. Even perfect saints like Prahlad and Dhruva were subjected to great tribulations. But in the end, the Lord gave them profuse enjoyment of wealth and material happiness. On the other hand, persons like Yudhishthir, the crest jewel of perfected saints, experienced great unhappiness. After the battle of Kurukshetra, Bhishmadev described to King Yudhishthir his wonder at this. Yatra dharma suto raja gada panyar vrikodhara Krishnastri gandivam chapam suhrit Krishnas tato vipat na hyasya karhichid rajam puman veti viditsitam yad vijigyasaya yukta muhyanti kavayopihi. Oh, how wonderful is the influence of inevitable time! It is irreversible. Otherwise, how can there be reverses in the presence of King Yudhishthir, the son of the demigod controlling religion? Bhima, the great fighter with a club, the great bowman Arjuna with his mighty weapon Gandiva, and above all, the Lord, the direct well-wisher of the Pandavas. O King, no one can know the plan of Sri Krishna. Even though great philosophers inquire exhaustively, they are also bewildered. They are bewildered. That's Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 1:9 verses 15 to 16. Thus, the conclusion is that only the Lord Sri Hari himself, being affectionate to his devotees, know his intentions, and no one else. One should refer to Bhishmadev's prayers in the first canto to consider all the points mentioned here. But, it may be questioned, what distinguishes the happiness and distress caused by one's own karma and that brought about by the personality of Godhead? Material happiness and distress arising from karma leave a subtle residue, the seed of desire, karma bij, which causes future entanglement. Such enjoyment and suffering tends toward degradation and increases the danger of falling into hellish oblivion. The happiness and distress generated from the Supreme Lord's will, however, and not the jiva's desires, leave no trace after their immediate purpose has been served. Moreover, The Vaishnav who enjoys such reciprocation with the Lord is in no danger of falling down into hell. As Yamaraj, the Lord of Death, declares, Jiva navakti bhagavar guna namadheyam chetascha na smaranti tach charanaravindam krishnaya no namati yach chira ekadapi tan anayadvam asato krita vishnu krityan. My dear servants, please bring to me only those sinful persons who do not use their tongues to chant the holy name and qualities of Krishna, whose hearts do not remember the lotus feet of Krishna even once, and whose heads do not bow down even once before Sri Krishna. Send me those who do not perform their duties toward Vishnu, which are the only duties in human life. Please bring me all such fools and rascals. That's Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 6:3-29. Because the devotees are objects of the Lord's affection, their suffering is never extreme. How can one consider the suffering arising from karma and that due to the How can one consider the suffering arising from karma and that due to the Lord to be equal? One is like the pain arising from receiving a beating from an enemy, and the other is like that caused by one's mother. One is like poison, and the other is like nectar. But is it that the Lord, who can do anything, cannot accomplish his purposes without giving distress to his devotees? Yes, he is the reservoir of unlimited pastimes. Yes, he, the reservoir of unlimited pastimes, cannot accomplish his purposes without this. But when he sometimes gives suffering to his beloved devotees, that suffering gives rise to the great pleasure, just as a stinging ointment applied by a physician cures his patient's infected eye. In addition, suffering protects the confidentiality of devotional service, prevents the disruption of the beliefs of the various categories of outsiders, and increases the eagerness with which the devotees call upon the Lord to appear. Moreover, if the devotees were complacently all the time, the Lord would never have a reason to appear in this world as Krishna, Ramachandra, and Nrsimha, since they come to protect the devotees and destroy the demons. Shri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 4:8, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. To deliver the pious and annihilate miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I appear millennium after millennium. Without the Lord showing himself on earth in his original form of Krishna and other incarnations, how would the devotees in this world be able to enjoy playing the ocean of the Ras Lila and his other pastimes? But what fault would there be in God's incarnating for some other reason than to deliver saintly persons from suffering? Let me reread that question. But what fault would there be in God's incarnating for some other reason than to deliver saintly persons from suffering? Yes, my dear brother, this makes good sense. But you are not expert in understanding spiritual moods. Please listen. The sunrise appears attractive because of the darkness of night. During the hot summer cold, water gives comfort, and during the cold winter months, warm water is pleasing. Lamp attractive in darkness, not in the glaring light of day. And when one is distressed by hunger, food tastes especially good. There is no need to elaborate more. That was such a great report. Let me check the comments 1 second. Haribo, Niri Hari Prabhu. Sayada vitato dyogo nirvinna syadhane haya mat parai krita maitrasya karishye mar anugraham. When he becomes frustrated in his attempts to make money, and instead befriends my devotees, I bestow my special mercy upon him. Commentary. Shri Krishna said, I will give my mercy to him. This is the second mercy. I will cause an extraordinary shower of sweet bhakti ras to rain down on my devotees. It was for this purpose that my first mercy bore the fruit of tormenting pain. In this verse, the statement Karishe mad anugraham, I give my mercy, can be better stated that I give mercy in the form of my very self. Tad brahma paramam shukshmam chinmatram sad anantakam vigyayatmataya dhira samsarat parimuchyate. A person who has thus become sober fully realizes the Absolute as the highest truth, the most subtle and perfect manifestation of spirit, the transcendental existence without end. In this way, realizing that the Supreme Truth is the foundation of his own existence, he is freed from the cycle of material life. Commentary. In this verse, Shri Krishna explains how his special mercy is equal to himself. Shri Krishna said, my mercy is equal to Brahman because it is supremely great and because it is imperceivable to persons with material vision. It is super excellent and subtle in the sense that it is inconceivable even to the devotee who is being shown mercy. It is purely spiritual because of its ability to give experience of prema ras, the mellow of pure love, and because it is devoid of any material happiness. It exists through all time, sat, and because of it, one has no fear of death, anantakam. As a secondary result, my mercy destroys the cycle of birth and death, samsarat parimuchyate. Sometimes the half-verse beginning vigyayat mataya is read as part of this verse, but that is against the opinion of our sampradaya, according to Sri Viśvanātha of Sanatana Goswami. Hari bol Sudevi Didi. Ato mam sudhuraradhyam hitvanyam bhajate janam tatasta ashutoshebhyo labdha raja shriyo dhata mata pramatta varadan vismayantya vagjanate. Huh. It seems, but like, see how Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura is saying sometimes the half verse beginning Vigyaya Mataya is read as part of this verse? I thought that's how it is here, though, isn't it? See, look. Vigyayat Mataya Dhira. Oh, maybe not. Never mind. No, it is. So, according to Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura, this is going against the opinion of our sampradaya, according to Sri Viśvanātha of Sanatana Goswami. Anyways, maybe I misunderstood that. No, I think that is how it is there. I am right. Anyways, I wonder why they did that. Mam suduraradhyam hitvanyam bhajate jana tatasta ashutoshebhyo labdha rajya shriyo dhata mata pramatta varadan vismayantya vajanate. They must have used like a different version of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Okay. Because I am difficult to worship, people generally avoid me and instead worship other deities who are quickly satisfied. When people receive kingly opulences from these deities, they become arrogant, intoxicated with pride, and neglectful of their duties. They dare to offend even the demigods who have bestowed benedictions upon them. Commentary. Krishna is difficult to worship because he destroys the happiness of mundane interactions. The person who worships demigods lacks insight, because that person becomes proud and then offends those who bestow benedictions. Shri Shuka Uvacha Shapa Prasadayorisha Brahma Vishnu Shivadhaya Sadhya Shapa Prasadonga Shiva Brahma Nachachyuta. Shukadev Goswami said, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, and others are able to curse or bless one. Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are very quick to curse or bestow benedictions, my dear king, but the infallible Supreme Lord is not. Atra chodaharanti mam itihasam puratanam vrikasuraya girisho varam datvapa sankatam. In this connection, an ancient historical account is related concerning how the Lord of Kailash mountain was put into danger by offering a choice of benedictions to the demon Vrika. Vrika nama suraputra shakune patinaradam drishtva tosha pracha deveshu trishu dhurmati. The demon named Vrika, a son of Shakunis, once met Narad on the road. The wicked fellow asked him which of the three chief gods could be pleased most quickly. Sa aham devam girisham upadhavashu siddhyasi lolpabhyam gunadoshabhyam ashutushyati kupyati. Narad, worship Lord Shiva and you will soon achieve success. He quickly becomes pleased by seeing his worshippers' slightest good qualities, and quickly angered by seeing his slightest fault. Dashasya banayos tushta stuvator vandinor iva aishvaryam atulam dattva tatta apa suksankatam. He became pleased with 10-headed Ravan, and also with Anna, when they each chanted his praise, like bards in a royal court. Lord Shiva then bestowed unprecedented power upon each of them, but in both cases he was consequently beset with great difficulty. Commentary. Shiva encountered serious difficulty from Ravana's uprooting his residence on Kailas Parvat, and because of having to guard Banasura's capital. Ityadishtastamasura upadhavat swagatrata kedara atmakravyena juvanogni mukam haram. Shukadev Goswami continued. Thus advised, the demon proceeded to worship Lord Shiva at Kedarnath by pieces of flesh from his own body and offering them as oblations onto the sacred fire, is Lord Shiva's mouth. Which is Lord Shiva's mouth. Commentary. Vrikasura worships Shiva by cutting off pieces of his own flesh and offering them to Lord Shiva. Devo palabdimaprapya nirvedat saptame hani shira vrishchat suddhitina tattirta klinamurdhajam tada mahakaruniko sadhurjat tiryata vayam chagnir ivotito nalat nirgriya dorbhyam pujayor nyavarayat. That's parshanad bhuya upaskritat kriti. Vrikasura became frustrated after failing to obtain a vision of God. Finally, on the 7th day, after dipping his hair into the holy waters at Kedarnath and leaving it wet, he took up a hatchet and prepared to cut off his head. At that very moment, the supremely merciful Lord Shiva rose up out of the sacrificial fire, looking like the god of fire himself, and grabbed both arms of the demon to stop him from killing himself, just as we would do. By Lord Shiva's touch, Vrikasura once again became whole. Commentary. Yeah, Rukmini Didi. That the sacred fire was Lord Vishnu's mouth. I wonder if it's different because he made a fire for Lord Shiva, and so then it became Shiva's mouth, like that. Maybe different sacred fires, depending on the... No, but yeah, anyways. Yeah, I don't know, actually. Taking a hatchet, the demon was about to cut off his head, which is wet. Oh, wait, I just read that. Okay, so now, after restoring... Didn't read this. Taking a hatchet, the demon was about to cut off his head, which was wet with water from that holy place. Glowing brilliantly like fire, Shiva appeared and stopped him, just as we would prevent someone from killing himself due to grief. After restoring Vrikasura's body, Shiva spoke to that demon. Tam aha changalam alam vrishnish... Sorry. Tam aha changalam alam vrinishvame yatabhikamam vitarami tevaram priye yato yena drinam prapadyatam aho tvayatma vrisham ardyate vrita aho tvayatma vrisham ardyate vrita. Lord Shiva said to him, "My friend, please stop. Stop. Ask from me whatever you want, and I will bestow that boon upon you. Alas, you have subjected your body to great torment for no reason, since I am pleased with a simple offering of water for those who approach me for shelter." There's no reason. I'm pleased with a simple offering of water for those who approach me for shelter. Commentary. Lord Shiva said, Enough of this cutting off your head. Devam savavripapiyan varabhuta bhayavaham yasya karam shirshni dhasye saryatam iti. Oops. Shukadev Goswami continued, "The benediction sinful Vrika chose from the Lord would terrify all living beings." Vrika said, "May death come to whomever I touch upon the head with my hand." Tachrutva Bhagavan Rudro Durmana Eva Bharata Ong Iti Prahasangtasmai Dadheher Amritam Yatha. Upon hearing this, Lord Rudra seemed somewhat disturbed. Nonetheless, O descendant of Bharata, he vibrated Om to signify his assent, granting benediction with an ironic smile, as if giving milk to a poisonous snake. Satadvara parikshartam shambhor murdhni kilasura swahastam dhatumarebhe sobhibhyat svakritachjiva. To test Lord Shambhu's benediction, the demon then tried to put his hands on the Lord's head. He wanted to try to test it on Lord Shiva himself, who gave him the benediction. Thus, Shiva was frightened because of what he himself had done. Commentary. Shiva became afraid of the benediction he himself had given. The word abhibhyat is an alternative reading for abhibhyet, and is justified by the poetic license of the sages. Teno pasrishta santrasta paradham save patu yavad antam divo bhume Drishtanam Udagad Udak. As the demon pursued him, Lord Shiva fled swiftly from his abode in the north, shaking with So as the demon pursued him, Shiva fled swiftly from his abode in the north, shaking with terror. He ran as far as the limits of the earth, the sky, and the corners of the universe. There's somebody at the door. Commentary. Being chased by the demon, Shiva started running very quickly from his abode in the north, and went to the limits of the directions in heaven and earth. Ajananta pratividham tushim asan sureshwara tato vaikuntam agamad bhasvaram tamasa param. Oh wow. Jai Ho. Oh, my poor so awesome. You just get a random delivery service of Charnamrita by some stranger, but just going door to door. Oh, okay. Ajananta pratividham tushnim asam sureshwara tato vaikuntam agamad bhasvaram tamasa param yatra narayana shakshan nyasinam paramogati shantanam nyastadandanam yato na vartate gata. The great demigods could only remain silent, not knowing how to counteract the benediction. Then Lord Shiva reached the luminous realm of Vaikuntha, beyond all darkness, where the Supreme Lord Narayan is manifest. That realm is the destination of renunciates, who have attained peace, given up all violence against other creatures. Going there, one never returns. Commentary. Brahma and other leaders of the demigods could not find a remedy, so they kept silent. Lord Shiva then went to Vaikuntha, far beyond the darkness of the material world. Tam tata vyasanam drishtva Bhagavan vrijinardhana durat pratyudiyar bhutva bhattuko yogamayaya Mekhala jina dandakshais tejasagnir iva jvalan abhivadayam sacha tam kusha panir abhivadayam asachatam kusha panir vinitavat. The Supreme Lord, who relieves his devotees' distress, had seen from afar that Lord Shiva was in danger. Thus, by his mystic yoga maya potency, he assumes the form of a brahmachari student, with the appropriate belt, deerskin, rod, and prayer beads, and came before Vrikasura. The Lord's effect glowed brilliantly, and it glowed brilliantly like fire. Holding kush grass in his hand, he humbly greeted the demon. Commentary. Vishnu, assuming the dress of a brahmachari, came before Vrikasura. Vishnu greeted him by offering blessings and paying of his respects. The phrase Abhivadayam asa, he respectfully greeted, can also mean the disguised Lord Narayan said, "For us seers of the absolute truth, all created beings are worthy of respect. Since you are the son of Shakuni, a wise man and performer of great austerities, you certainly deserve the respectful greeting of a young brahmachari like myself." Tang tata vyasanam drishtva Bhagavan vrijinardhana durat pratyudiyar bhutva bhattuko yogamayaya mekhala dandakshais tejasagnir ivajvalam abhivadayamasacha kusha panir vinitavat. The Supreme Lord who relieves his devotees' distress had seen from afar that Lord Shiva was in danger. Thus, by his mystic Yogamaya potency, he assumed the form of a brahmachari student with the appropriate belt, deerskin. Did I go back? Did I accidentally push back instead of... No, I think it gave the same translation twice by accident. So let's go to verse 29 here. Give me 1 second to find this. Do you know what? I love this story. Yeah, I know, it's so great. Let me find the database.io. Okay, we're looking for 80. Was it 88? Was it verse 29? I think. Okay, so let's go back. Okay. Let's just because there's a gap. The Supreme Lord had seen from afar that Lord Shiva was in danger, and thus he assumed the form of a brahmachari student with the appropriate belt, deerskin, like that, and he came before Vrikasura. The Lord's effulgence shone brilliantly like fire. Holding kusha grass in his hands, he humbly greeted the demon. He said, "My dear son of Shakuni, you appear tired. Why have you come from such a great distance? Please rest for a minute. After all, it is one's body that fulfills all one's desires." Okay. Commentary. Vishnu, assuming the dress of a brahmachari for Vrikasura. Vishnu greeted him by offering blessings and paying his respects. The phrase Abhivadayam Asa, he respectfully greeted, can also mean the disguised Lord Narayan said, "For us seers of the absolute truth, all created beings are worthy of respect. Since you are the son of Shakuni, a wise man and performer of great austerities, you certainly deserve the respectful greeting of a young brahmachari like myself." Oh my god, I am so sorry, guys. That was the wrong commentary. So now the commentary for this verse. Lord Narayan, this body fulfills all of our desires. Therefore, do not torment it by the fatigue of running excessively. Sorry, guys. Dina Shravanalayam Yushmar Vyavasitam Vibho Manyatam Prayasha Pumbir Drittai Swarthan Samihate. O Mighty One, tell us what you intend to do if we are qualified to hear it. Usually one accomplishes purposes by taking others. Commentary. Lord Narayan continued, one's work becomes successful by the help of others. Therefore, you should tell me your intention so that I can assist you with the strength of my tejas, my Brahminical potency. Shri Shuka Uvacha Evam Bhagavata Prishto Vachasamrita-darśinā Gata klamo bhavit tasmai yatha purvam anushtitam. Shukadeva Goswami said, thus questioned by the personality of Godhead in language that poured down sweet nectar, Vrika felt relieved of his fatigue. He described to the Lord everything he had done. 32. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Evam Chetarhi Vakyam Na Vayam Shratadhimahi Yodaksha Shapat Paishachyam Prapta Preta Pishacharat. The Supreme Lord said, if this is the case, we cannot believe what Shiva says. Shiva is the same lord of the Pretas and Pishachas whom Daksha cursed to become like a carnivorous hobgoblin. Yadivas tatra vishrambo tanavinda jagadguru taryangasu sashirasi hastam nyasya pratiyatam. O best of the demons, If you have any faith in him because he is the spiritual master of the universe, then without delay, put your hands on your own head and see what happens. Yada satam vacha shambho katanchir danavarshava tadainam jayasad vacham nayar vaktanritam puna. Vaktanritam puna, yeah. If the words of Lord Shambhu prove untrue in any way, O best of the demons, then kill the liar so he may never lie again. Commentary. Lord Narayan said, though Shiva may have the myth to revive himself even after being killed, you should kill him, so at least waited from lying again. Itam Bhagavata Shitrar Vacho Visu Supeshalai Bhinnadhir Vismrita Shirshni Swahastam Kumatir Nyadhat. Shukadev Goswami continued, thus bewildered by the personality of Godheads and chanting all words, foolish Vrika, without realizing what he was doing, placed his hand on his head. Commentary. Forgetting about Shiva's benediction, the demon touched his own head. Atapatar bhinashira vajrahata iva kshanat jaya shabdo ma shabda sadhu shabdo bhavadivi. Instantly, his head shattered as if struck by a lightning bolt, and the demon fell down dead. From the sky were heard cries of victory, obeisances, and well done. Mumuchu pushpavarshani atte pape vrikasure devarshi pitri gandharva mochita sankatachiva. The celestial sages, Pitas, and Gandharvas rained down flowers to celebrate the killing of sinful Vrikasura. Now, Lord Shiva was out of danger. Wait, is this 2 verses? Yes, it is. Okay. Muktam girisham abhyaha Bhagavan Purushottama Aho Deva Mahadeva Papoyam Svena Papmana Hatako nu Mahatsvisha Kritakil Bhisha Kshemi Syat Kim Uvishveshe Kritaghasko Jagadguru. The Supreme Personality of Godhead then addressed Lord Girisha, who is now out of danger. Just see, O Mahadev, my lord, how this wicked man has been killed by his own sinful reactions. Indeed, what living being can hope for good fortune if he offends exalted saints? What to speak of offending the Lord Master of the universe? Commentary. This statement of Lord Vishnu's implies a mild scolding. My dear possessor of unlimited vision, O you of clear intelligence, benediction should not be given to wicked demons in this way. You could have been killed, but you were only concerned about saving this poor soul, so you disregard what would happen to you as a result. By this mild rebuke, Lord Narayan is also highlighting the exceptional compassion of the powerful Lord Shiva. Okay, this is the last verse of this chapter. Ya evam avyakrita shaktyudanvata parasya shakshat paramatmano hare kiritra moksham katayet shrinotiva vimuchyate sangsritibhis tataribhi. Lord Hari is the directly manifest absolute truth, supreme soul and unlimited ocean of inconceivable energies. Anyone who recites or hears this pastime of his saving Lord Shiva will be freed from all enemies and the repetition of birth and death. Commentary. He who hears or tells the story of Shiva's deliverance by Hari, the unlimited ocean of inconceivable energies, will be freed from enemies and the repetition of birth and death. Ends the commentary on the 88th chapter of the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam for the pleasure of the devotees in accordance with the previous acharyas. Alright, so that is the end. And tomorrow we only have 2 chapters left in our Bhagavatam reading. Yeah, only 2 chapters. My God. In the 10th canto. So the thing is, though, these chapters are not super long. Let's see. Okay, so the next chapter is 6,089 words, and the next chapter is 6,453 words. So, everybody, please tell me what you think. It would probably take, to read chapter 89, it would probably take like an hour and 15 minutes, guessing. Hour, 15 minutes. And to read chapter 90, it would take like an hour, 10 minutes. So, do I have your permission, everybody, to go a little bit overtime tomorrow and the day after? Because then we can finish in 2 days. That would be really helpful for me because where Sankalpa is in 2 days. See, look, here's the calendar I'll show you. Sankalpa, Navadip Sankalpa is in 2 days, then Amalaki Akadashi, then Madhavendra Puri, it's in 5 days. Anyway, so 2 days is, yeah, so I'm the last reading day, I'm gonna have to record that, actually, pre-record the last video because I'm going to be out on Sankalpa. And actually, on that day, we're going to be offering Umadiri's. They brought some of Umadiri's ashes here to Navadvip to offer into the Ganga. And so on that Sankalpa day, there's going to be a big festival offering Umadiri's into the Ganga in the morning time. So I will be doing that on the last reading day. So, yeah. Okay, everybody fine with that. Thank you, everybody. Awesome. Tomorrow, I'll start on time. And then the day after tomorrow, I'll be spot on time. It will be a pre-recorded video. And maybe we can do a little special kirtan at the end also. I don't know. We should do something special at the end. It's been, how many months have you been reading the 10th canto? Many months. Like many, more than 6 months, I think. So we should do something to end it nicely. I don't know what to do. Yeah, we'll have to think of something. And Nri Hari Prabhu, for sure, I will remember you there. And yes, yeah, for 100%. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Alright. Oh, Hari Bol, Vishnu Prabhu, Shukra Didi, Madhusudan Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Okay, Papatari Mataji. So, when do we take Sankalpa? I don't know. We leave pretty early in the morning, I think. I'm guessing we'll leave at... Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe we leave at 6 o'clock in the morning? I don't know what the program is. These past few days have been completely crazy. I'm kind of like, I have no idea what's going on. Alright, so I was gonna say, I forgot what it was. Anyhow, if it comes back to me, I'll mention. To Jadwani Nada. Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi. Oh, that's Vishwarup. Sorry, I just noticed. Haribol Vishwarup Prabhu. Alright. Okay, Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Vihari Ju ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shri Gurudev ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishmar Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Mahabhagavat Lagoksharas Babaji Maharaj ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Shila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shri Raghunatha Babaji Maharaj ki Jai Shri Rupa Anugauriya Guru Varga ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shar Gosai Prabhu ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai Namachay Shri Haridas Ṭhākura ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandal Gaura Mandal Vraja Mandal Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Sarva Avishya Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund ki Jai Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki Jai Shri Mahadev ki Jai Shri Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Jai Srila Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura ki Jai Sārārtha-darśinī Vritti ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Om Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashcha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavataya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyashcha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Oh, thanks, Indira Mataji and Rukmini Didi. Hari Bol. Oh, do you want to see something kind of special? I already sent it to Indira Mataji and Rukmini Didi, but other people haven't seen it. So I'm gonna just show here. This is where I went the day before yesterday. I went to number 1 Ulta Danga Junction Road, and I sent a few videos to them. Let me just find it 1 second, and then I'll share my screen. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Okay. Here, I'm gonna show you. This is so. Anyways, anybody who comes to Navadvip, like on your way through Kolkata, I highly you have to see this. It's so amazing, so powerful. Number 1 Ulta Danga Junction Road, where everything began, where Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's entire preaching mission started from here. This is like the origin place, and it's where he spent the most time anywhere. He stayed in any place more than he stayed at Ulta Danga Junction Road. This is also where all of our acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, where Srila Prabhupada, like our Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada first met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and not just Srila Prabhupada, but so many of most of our acharyas, like my Param Gurudev, like Srila Bhakti Rakshak Shira Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Dayat Madhav Goswami Maharaj, Srila, like all of our Guru Varga like that, they all came at this spot. So I'll show you a video of it. Okay. They actually told me that I wasn't allowed to take any pictures. You'll see in this first video, the person told me not to, I'm not allowed to use my camera. And so all these videos are very sneakily. And I'll just explain what's happening. Can you see? Wait. Okay, yeah, you can see. Okay, so that was the first video. It's taking a while to load. Okay, so that was the front room. Wait, I'm just gonna shut off the volume because it's. So that's the front room when you walk in, and that was like where they would sit and do kirtan. That's where they had Thakurji, like a Gandharva Giridhari. And all these bricks there are the original bricks So ISKCON acquired this last year, and they, instead of like remodeling the place, they took every brick, cleaned it nicely, and then put it back. And and so like they wanted to preserve it as much as possible. So yeah. And there is Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada's room. That was his room where he spent the most time out of any mutt or temple. And I can't tell you how powerful that room felt. It's amazing. Yeah, the building, like they from Srila Prabhupada's time, they didn't change it that much at all. Like it was the building, it was never like remodeled or anything like that. And ISKCON did their very best to try to preserve it as nicely as possible, like keep it in its original. Um, yeah, it's all about preservation, not just. Um, so yeah, that's Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur room, and then outside there, I'm going to go outside, and this is where Srila Prabhupada, you hear the story of when Srila Prabhupada first met Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, right? It was out here on the balcony here, or the veranda, or whatever you call it, this rooftop here. See, right in that area. That's where Srila Prabhupada first had darshan of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. Yeah. ISKCON was trying to acquire this for, I think it was like over 10 years they were struggling, and then finally just last year it all came through. And that is Sundar Gopal Prabhu from he's a disciple of Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj, and he is the main researcher. Okay, so that's the main room again. It's really interesting construction, isn't it? How it goes down there, like in the middle. And then through there, that's yeah, and it has like a beautiful skylight like that. So you'll see Gandharva. This is Gandharva Giridhari, not Gandharvika Giridhari. That's what Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada established here, is Gandharva Giridhari. See? There. So yeah, I was just like imagining what it must have been like. Okay, and all these rooms here on the corner, one room was Ananta Vasudev's, one room was Sundarananda Vidya Vinod's, one was Paramananda Vidyaratna's, one room was Bhakti Pradip Tirtha Maharaj before he was a sannyasi. They were all grahastas though. And so they all stayed with their families on the bottom floor. And then Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was on the top. Yeah. Even like that marble, not marble, the stained glass was from the original. Like that was there from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's time. And now I take you out to the back area. Sundar Gopal took me there. And then so yeah, see, that's all original from Prabhupada's time. That's a picture of what it looks like before. And then he told me, "Oh, hide your camera." He was coming, and then I asked permission from this devotee, and the devotee's like, "I've seen you already taking photos. Why are you asking me for permission now?" that Tulsi stand was there from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's time also. That's original. And also that whole little structure there, that is where they did the bathing of Gandharva, like the Abhishek of Gandharva Giridhari. Yeah. All right, so that is darshan of number 1 Ultadanga Junction. In the front entrance area, also there's all sorts of manuscripts and all sorts of historical things about the place. But I didn't take a picture of that because the security guard was there, and he had just told me not to take pictures. All right, so that is that. And now the next video is short. 1 second. Yeah, so the next place I went to Bhakti Bhavan. Bhakti Bhavan was Srila Bhakti-Thakur's birthplace. Not his birthplace, sorry, I'm really spaced out. That was where his house, where he lived. His birthplace is in Viśvanātha near Mayapur. But yeah, that was his house where he lived in Kolkata. And it was about a 20-minute walk away from number 1 Uldanga Junction Road. But that house, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's descendants still live in it. And so, and they are not friendly at all. When we went up, so we went there, offered pranam. They covered it with a tarp so that nobody could see it was Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house. They probably, yeah. And then we went upstairs inside, like up the stairs to the door, and we knocked on the door. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur's descendants, they opened the door, and they're like, "Who are you? What do you want here? There's nothing here. You go somewhere else. I don't know. And like they kicked us out. But inside, there was, you know, the Kurma Shila that Srila Bhakti Thakur gave to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada to worship when he was little Bimal Prasad. So that Kurma Shila is still there. And yeah, that one is in court right now with ISKCON, and ISKCON's fighting to get. And it looks like it's going to be successful. Like ISKCON will get control of that, and then they'll renovate it and everything. But it's a whole thing going on. But at least we got to offer pranam there and walk up the same steps that Bhakti Thakur would walk to his room, and we could peek in behind the person and inside the room. But yeah, it was pretty exciting. All right, everybody, thanks for sticking, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. Haribol. Oh, interesting, Riseshwari Mataji. My mouth is moving differently than the sounds. Okay. All right, Haribol, everybody. See you all tomorrow. Oh wait, I didn't show you Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house. 1 second. Let me just show you really quick. This is after the guy kicked us out, and he was staring through his window like for us to leave, and so I had to do this very but here, let's just see it. So that's inside Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house area, and then there's steps going up on the side to the room. And then you can see from outside. This is actually a red light area. Like you'll see some prostitutes around like on the way there. But they put a tarp there so that you couldn't see that it was Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house, I'm guessing. It's so interesting though to see like such an important, significant place for us, disguised, completely covered over. Nobody would even notice anything. They just walk right past it. Anyhow, all right. Thank you, everybody. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. No, Sugadidi, all these videos were from Kolkata. That's a 20-minute walk from number 1 Ultadanga Junction Road. It's called Bhakti Bhavan. That was Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house that he lived in for a long time. All right, Haribol, everybody.